Hi there, this video is the instruction video for my CompleteTradeManager. This EA, it did have some, actually a few old versions. If you are a user for the old versions, then please stop using them. And let's use this new version. I think this new version made some improvement, especially on the partial close aspect. So let's first take a look at the external settings, the trading condition settings. And first, we need to know what orders we wanted to manage by this trade manager. This trade manager does not open trades. It only manages the existing trades. So trades opened either by user or by some other EA. Okay, some EA, if they don't have trade management features, you can manage them using CompleteTradeManager. However, a lot of EAs have their own managing functions. In that case, it is probably not appropriate to manage those orders. Okay, first of all, this only manage trade of current chart. For example, if you attach this to EU or USD, it will not manage other trades of other symbols. So I have three ways to filter what trades to manage. First, manage all trades. If this is true, all orders of this symbol will be managed. Before you set this to true, think about it if you really want that to happen or not. If you don't want that to happen, then set this to false. There's two other ways to filter trades. First is using magic number. And remember, most EA, when it open a trade, it most likely have a magic number, whatever you defined. If you just want if you just want a CompleteTradeManager to manage orders of certain magic number, just put that in here. Okay, and all manually open trade have a magic number of 0. If you only want the EA to manage manually open trade, set this to 0. Okay, and another thing we can filter is filter trades only, true or false. If this is true, EA is only going to manage trade that is opened in the future, never trade in the past. Obviously, when this is false, then EA will manage trade even if some trade opened in the past. Ideally, what I want you to do is to set this to true, but only open trades after EA is already on chart. The reason is we will apply all these settings as soon as order is opened. Sometimes if you apply this to an order in the past, price has already moved, then it might some of your settings might not to be reasonable. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to do some back testing. So I'm going to set this to true because it doesn't really matter. But if in the forward testing, you need to make sure what trades you wanted to manage. And here, in order for you to test in back testing, I'm giving you the option to open one trade at the activation of the back testing. And this does not matter when it's in real testing. So testing direction, you could either set BUY to open a buy trade or leave it blank or write anything else to open a sell trade. And here we also wanted to define the stop loss color and take profit line color. You can see here I have this situation on chart. On this chart, obviously, I have two trades here. So there are many lines. Although where those lines and label located, they are located in a situation that you can identify those trades very, very easily. For example, stop line color and stop line label color is the same. And this label also labels which order the stop line belongs. And see, this is TP line color. You can see the TP line. And also these label is right centered around this bar. Order is opened. So you can see here, this buy order is open on this bar, and this sell order is open somewhere around here because it needs to be in the center of this. I will explain these partial close line later on. Now, for the visibility, see, we have three possible modes. 0 means hidden stop loss and take profit. So all the stop loss take profit does not send to the broker, and it is represented by lines on chart. And user can also freely drag these lines to change the location of stop loss and take profit. That means this hidden stop loss or take profit. And see, this visibility, you can choose between 0, 1, 2. 0 means hidden. 1, if you choose 1, that means hard stop loss and take profit. In that case, all your stop loss and take profit will be sent to broker, although you still have lines associated to it, and then you can move it around using those lines. And for the 2, if you choose 2, that means both hidden and hard. And in that case, the hard stop loss become a so-called fake stop loss and take profit. So all of your settings below is when you choose 2, and all of those settings below, it apply to the real hidden stop loss. And then you have a hard stop loss, which is fake stop loss and fake take profit, defined by using pips. Okay, when you use, typically you either use 0 or 1. When you do use 2, you're just giving your broker fake stop loss and take profit. And make sure these fake ones is further away than your real ones. For example, right now, I am actually using mode number 2. So I have these fake stop loss and take profit. See, I have the fake take profit, fake stop loss. Although these are sent to the broker, stop loss and take profit, they should be further away than my real. Otherwise, they will exit the trade even they're fake. Your broker don't really know they're fake. Okay, so this is the visibility. And now when it comes to stop loss method, we have 4 possible choices. Here are the hints. So 0 means no stop loss, which is possible. Okay, and however, when you choose 0, you have to be careful some of the other choices. For example, when we talk about our take profit choices, one of the take profit choices is multiplies of the stop loss. In this case, if you choose stop loss to 0, then you shouldn't really choose take profit to be method number 2. Okay, just make sure all of your settings do not contradict each other. So 0 means no stop loss. 1 means fixed pip. And if you choose 1, then EA is going to look at the fixed stop loss setting. Okay, if you choose 2 or 3, obviously this will be ignored. 2 means ATR. ATR means a stop loss distance based on the ATR value. And what ATR value are we talking about? And it's defined from using these 3 variables. First of all, you need to define an ATR time frame. And then we need to define an ATR period, and then ATR multiplier. With this setting, basically it's saying, okay, if I am opening an order at 2013 12/23, and I am looking at the daily ATR chart, and ATR is 20 period ATR, and I am looking by default, the way it's coded is always use the last closed bar on this time frame. In this case, it's daily. That means I'm looking at the 2013 December 22nd. Okay, and that day's ATR, I'm also multiply that by 2. That is my stop loss distance. So now we have 2 stop loss method. The third is based on risk. Normally when we use the risk in the opposite way. So we first have a stop loss distance, and then we give a risk, and then we can calculate the lot size. But in this case, you already opened the trades and with a lot size and whatever you want. And now you can use it reverse way based on that lot size and also the percentage risk you want to use, and then we can calculate appropriate stop loss. Here's just a reverse way of calculating risk, calculating lot size with risk. Now we're calculating stop loss with risk. And this risk, account risk percent, so 2 means 2%. So if you want to do 2%, do not use 0.02, instead use 2. So this is how we define stop loss. And now another function related stop loss is break even. So break even, true or false. If this is false, obviously break even function is disabled. If this is true, then this is the point which break even is going to happen. And this is if you're going to real break even or not. A real break even requires this setting to be 0. If I'm setting at something like 2, that's basically mean the break-even function do not put the stop loss exactly at order open price. It will put it at 2 pip profit location. Just give you a little bit more flexibility on setting break-even. So now this is the stop loss, and next we're talking about, this is a complete trade manager, so we give you all the possible ways to manage your trade. So next function is trailing stop. Trailing stop method, you have choice between 0, 1, and 2. So 0 means no trailing stop. 1 means based on fixed pip. So for trailing stop, we need to know when the trailing stop is going to activate. Okay, so and 1. See, if I use 1, and that means I'm based on fixed trailing stop. So trailing stop is going to activate at 25 pips, and it's going to be 25 pips away. This is basically break even. And now if profit gains to 26, and now obviously my trailing stop will be order open price plus 1. This is a basic trailing stop. Then with a trailing step, so like how often we're going to modify the trailing stop, every 1 pip or 2 pip or 5 step. If you make this step really large, your trailing stop is basically means it is a stepped trailing stop. Okay, if you want this trailing stop to be modified frequently, set this to a very small number, such as 0.1 pip or something. And if you choose trailing method to be number 2, then that means I'm not going to trail with a fixed pip. I'm going to trail with the moving average on chart. A lot of times we want for the order to trail a moving average. In this case, you have to set this to 2, and also we set up the moving average we want. The moving average time frame, by default I'm using 0. That means the moving average on the current chart. Or you can set it to some other chart time frame, for example, 240 means 4 hour. And then moving average period, type, price. And then last is moving average bar shift. So by default, you probably wanted to put this to 1. That means just the previously closed bar and moving average value. But you can freely set this to other bars. For example, if you set this to 2, that basically means 2 bars ago. So now it's the trailing stop settings. Then it comes to take profit settings. Take profit settings, you have choice between no take profit, which is 0, and 1, it means fixed pip, defined by this. Second is, if you choose 2, that means based on stop loss. And TP multiplier, this means take profit is 3 times at stop loss, whatever that stop loss is, because these 2 and 3 will result in a different stop loss for each trade. Okay, so that's for take profit. Last is about partial close trades. See these yellow lines, yellow short lines is partial close. This is one of the most significant changes for the new version. Partial close here. I also have several different mode, different method. 0 means no partial close at all. 1 is based on fixed pip. 2 based on the TP ratio. Okay, let's explain that a little bit later on. Now, whenever you need a trade to be partial close, you need to tell EA 2 things. One is at what price we need to partial close. Second is what is the lot size you wanted to partial close. And they're defined by these 2 things. In here, I'm actually coded this EA to accommodate unlimited number of partial close. Although in reality, it's probably not going to be that much, but actually it's not unlimited. It's maximum of 100 steps of partial close here. And that is usually more than enough for most people. So you can freely choose how many steps you want. See here, you can put 3 numbers separated by comma. That means I have 3 partial close. Or you can do 5 numbers separated by comma. That means I have 5 partial close. As long as you put less than 100 number, then it is fine. So okay, the way I'm putting it now, obviously I'm going to do 3 partial close like this. Okay, and now let's take a look. 1 means fixed. So if I put 1 in here, basically that means here I mean this is fixed pip. That means 25 pips first partial close, 50 pips second partial close, 75 pips third partial close. That's what it means. However, if I put 2 in here, this doesn't mean fixed pip anymore. It means based on take profit. Ratio of take profit. 25 now means 25%, 50%, 70%. You can see here from this one, this is the real TP. 25% first partial close, 50 second, 75 third. That's because I'm using 2, right? This is what this means. Once again, you can freely define how many partial close you want. You can set this and put this to 0. Then all of these will be ignored. Okay? But as soon as this is not 0, for example, is 1 or 2, you need to make sure here you need to have at least 1 number. It can't be blank. Now we know where we want to partial close, and now we wanted to TP lot percent. 50 means 50%. And this means the first partial close is 50% of the original lot size. And each one is based on 50% of whatever is left. Not original, because original lot size is lost. So this means every time partial close, you're going to partial close 50% of whatever left Just remember that. The last option related to partial close is extend partial lines. If this is true, so even the lines is even the orders open in the past, as long as partial close is not done, it's always going to extend the lines to the current bar. This way, it's just you can see clearly if trades is past that line or not. When this is false, I'm going to test when it's false. You'd better use this when you have many trades on chart. You don't want too many lines. So if this is false, partial close one is becoming short. It will not extend. It will just become from where the order is opened to the 4 bars ago. Okay, let me do some demonstration with backtesting. With backtesting, and I have coded to allow you to submit one trade, and for this direction have you defined. Okay, I'm going to use buy, and this trade for the testing purpose only, its lot size is always 1 lot. And here I am going to use hard stop loss, which is the visible stop loss. And for the stop loss, I'm going to use number 3, which is defined by risk. And here we're going to use 2% of the risk. And because I'm testing with 10,000, so 2% is $200. So basically it means my stop loss needs to be put at a place that is make sure if I were to hit stop loss, I'm going to lose $200. And for the take profit, I'm using 2, which means it's 3 times as whatever the stop loss distance is. I'm also going to use trailing stop based on fixed pip. Not going to use break even, but I'm going to use trailing stop. And for the partial take profit, I'm going to use number 2, which is ratio based on take profit. So 25%, 50%, and 75%. And my lot size is going to be 30%, 20%, and 10%. Okay, extend partial lines. Then let's start. So you can see at the beginning, you can see my stop losses here. In this case, it's 20 pips. 20 pips, and with 1 lot, it's going to lose $200. That is why where my take profit is, because I wanted to lose $200. And here you also notice on the label, and this EA now is going to show you should this order hit take profit, stop loss or take profit, how much you're going to gain or lose. And this information, you probably didn't see it at the first part of this video. It was because I made that part yesterday where when I didn't add this function. I just add this function today, so you won't see that. And for the later part of the video, which I recorded yesterday as well, when I do the live testing, you didn't see this information either because I was recording that in advance. Nevertheless, this function was added now. It live updates all the potential gain and loss. For example, if you move this next tick, you will see this is recorded to wherever you move. So you will immediately, you can see what is your potential gain and loss. For example, here, this is $250. Then if I moved it closer, this is the potential gain and loss here. And now, for the partial close, it's possible to move partial close around as well. You can even do this. It really doesn't matter. It's where this line is. It's the value of this line. It actually matters. So you can move this as well, and you can even delete the partial close. But if you do want to delete it, delete from the last line. The further is the line, right? Do not delete from the bottom. That is just depending on how I code it. So here, Right now, this is 730 potential take profit. But as soon as I partial close has succeeded, now the lot size is reduced. Obviously, this now is 511, which is less than before because lot size now is reduced. Now this has become order number 2, and this is a potential gain for order number 2. Through this entire process, you also see the partial close line was extended always to the current bar. Throughout the entire process, you can always move those lines. For example, now I can move those lines to there, and now another partial close is closed, and those lines will always update real time. Also, these stop loss doesn't mean it's always going to result in a loss. In this case, it's already beyond the order open price. It will result in a gain as well. So now this is 84. If right now this order hits stop loss, you're going to have $84 gain. $120 gain if you are going to hit this stop loss for now. See, as soon as order is completely closed and all the other lines, all the other reference lines like take profit didn't hit, third partial close didn't hit, all the lines will be closed. Now if you look at the last one, it's going to see you have $120 gain. Okay, see these potential gain and loss values is updated real time, and it's always showing should the exit price is exactly the same as that line, that is your potential profit or loss. However, especially if you're using hidden stop loss and take profit, your actual exit price will probably be different from that line a little bit. As a result, then your profit or loss will be different a little bit from the potential value I'm giving. Okay, I'm going to make some demonstration by using back testing. I've provided this function here. You can open one order. Let's just going to use option number 2 here. You can see at the order open, we have stop loss line, take profit line, and partial close. You can see the fake take profit and stop loss is here. And you notice here there's something different than what you just saw. And on the TP and stop loss label, I have also showed you should the order stop out or should the order take profit, how much profit or loss you're supposed to have. Okay, so in this case, and they are updated real time. For example, if I move this up, then it will update immediately. If I move stop loss for the same thing, and it's going to be updated immediately. And now I'm using partial close extended to the current bar. Later on, you will see this result here. And you notice, like for the first part of the video you saw, when you do not see this number, is because at the time when I made that video, I didn't have this function. It's just later on I thought adding this function is a very nice addition, so I have added it. And the next part of the video, when I'm doing demonstration on the live testing, you don't see that either. It's because that video was actually made in advance as well. So just to remember that the code you're getting will include this function. So right now, let's see. So obviously, as I said, these partial closed line can be moved as well freely. And if after the initial setup is done, you can see here, these lines are growing based on where the current price is. If you're choosing the option not to extend the line, they will not. They will stay as where it is. These lines just simply for EA to get the partial close values. And these lines can be moved as well if you wanted to delete steps for partial close. For example, for this order, I wanted to only do 2 partial close. You can delete lines, but only delete from the furthest line. So now this is 270 for take profit. You can see here what just happened is 1 partial close is executed. Now the order lot size is reduced, and this is reduced as well. Some of the profit is already realized. Okay, $48 already realized. Now, should the remaining of the order hit here, you're going to have 469 profit. This is for the stop loss. The loss is also reduced as well because the order lot size is reduced. You can see here now stop loss is being pulled up. Also, we had a second partial close, and both of these is being reduced. And now this $84 profit for hitting stop loss is based on the current lot size of 0.6. Okay, so that's the, and also trailing stop is in place as well. In this case, you can see if price goes down, hit the stop loss, and the last profit should be around 120. And any lines that's not hit, for example, the last partial close line and take profit will be deleted if the order is completely closed. See, in this case, the last is 108. Like I said, this one it's not the hard stop loss. It is a partial exit by the EA, and the exit price is not exactly as a line, so it's a little bit different. However, that value of 120 was done based on what the exact line price, and after order is closed, all these relevant lines to this order is completely closed. So once again, I'm demonstrating with one order. However, this EA can manage multiple orders at the same time. Now, let's take some time to see how to handle certain situations when you use this EA Live. When you use this EA Live, ideally, this is what I want you to do. First, open a chart of the symbol you want to trade, and then before you're putting on that trade, you put the EA on first. You notice, like, I haven't hit OK. You notice right now I actually already have a trade in here, and this trade I know it's open actually by another EA. That means this trade have a magic number of something not 0. All manually opened trade has a magic number of 0. If I use manage all trade, and right now my EA is going to manage this order that submitted in some time in the past, this sometimes could cause problem because price could have moved significantly from that. And if you wanted to manage this past trade, it's fine. You need to make sure all of these settings is reasonable. For example, this sell, let's see, from current price to this, say it's 30 pips, okay? And if you set your stop loss to 20 pips, that will result immediately closure of past trade. So sometimes you need to be careful if you want to EA manage past trade. So that's why I almost always, if it's ever possible, to make this managing all trades to be false and make future trades only to be true. So only open trades after EA is already attached on chart. In this case, and luckily because this one, it has a magic number of something other than 0. I could also just to put this to 0, then that will bypass this trade as well. So now you can see here, this trade is not managing it. You don't see those lines. So now after you attach this on chart, now you open a trade. Let's say you open a buy, and then this one now will be managed by this EA. Now you can see the stop loss and take profit line is installed, and then partial take profit line is installed. If I zoom this further, you can see my fake take profit and fake stop loss is installed as well. You can see this new trade here, it has a TP and slot, although these are fake. And now I have those lines. Okay, so you can see here two orders, but only this one being managed. So what we just see is what we call as an initial setup for a trade. Initial setup typically involves finding where the real stop loss are, finding where the real take profit are, the fake take profit and stop loss, and partial close, and so on. In this case, you can see my take profit is actually not in the appropriate location, because before you ever get there, your fake stop or take profit is already going to take profit. But it's fine. Once the initial setup is done, you can always freely to move those things around. So you can even freely move the partial close around. And you can also delete some of the partial close you want. And like I said, when you delete the partial close, make sure delete the highest level first. Okay? Cannot delete them randomly. If you want to delete one from the highest and then the next highest. So now, so you can freely interfere with all of these data, and EA will never get back to original, because typically it means you moved it. That's what you intended to be. It doesn't need to go back to original. However, there will be some situations that maybe you made some mistake. You do want all these lines to go back to the original place. So that means I need to give you a way for this to happen. Remember, typically that initial setup only happens when the order is opened. But now we have another way. If indeed you want that to happen, you just need to do one thing. Find these two labels for take profit and stop loss. Because when you use this EA, chances are you are at least using either take profit or stop loss. It will be very rare if you don't use either of them, because partial close is actually dependent on take profit. Okay, so find these two labels and delete any of them. See, for example, now I find this one, I delete it. Well, in this case, I happen to delete the stop loss line as well, but the line doesn't matter. See, if you just delete one of those labels, next tick, then all the default settings will be restored. Right now, it's close to Christmas. Market is really, really slow. We need to for the next tick to have that reinstalled. Then anyway, so now let's repeat again. There's two ways to restore initial settings. One is the moment while the order is opened. You can see here that there's no new tick. That's why it's not coming up. One is when the moment the order is opened. The second is if I delete the label for now, it go back to original, whatever the original is. The either take profit or stop loss label has been deleted. And this, you can use this to achieve a few things. For example, right now you could change some of the settings. For example, I'm going to change the stop loss to 20. I hit OK, and my take profit is 3 times as take profit. You could make some changes with the intention that will not affect some past orders. You can see here, the reason it didn't affect the past orders was because none of those two situations like meets right now. It's not when the order is opened, and second of all, both of these two labels here. That means you're changing some settings, but only affect the future orders. Okay. However, you could decide for the new settings to apply to old trade as well. What you do is just what I said. You just delete one of those labels, and then next tick this old. See, you can see here now everything is set up according to the new settings. So this is how you wanted to use the new settings into old trade. So, and another thing is, if you are trading this EA, well, these lines already installed on chart means initial settings is already passed. If you need to restart MT4, if you do want all of these settings to remain, even you restart with a new setting, simply keep this chart open and then close MT4, and then next time you restart, all of these lines are still there. But I wanted to remind you, try not to restart EA when you have some order under management still. If you have to do that, make sure you close your MT4 and restart MT4 as soon as possible. This is just to make sure the price has not moved that much. Because you can't do is like, for example, right now I'm in this kind of situation. You close MT4 and 2 days later you start up MT4 again. In that case, price might already is here. The only result would be, in that case, you will have 3-stage partial close, and then you get a full close, all happen at the same price. That beats the purpose of using the CA. So if you ever need to restart it, and make sure just shut MT4 down and restart almost immediately.